Thanks, Greg. Way to kick us off. I hope you guys are excited to be here. This is a phenomenal event. Honestly, the highlight of my year is coming to LI, getting to socialize with some phenomenal people, great talent, and it's something to really be cherished. I want to understand who's in the audience a little bit. Can all the current undergraduates raise your hand, please? Okay, how many of you are pursuing a degree in technology, science, math? Okay, a good portion. The alumni population, can you raise your hand? How many of you are employed or searching for employment in a tech industry? Okay, much less, that's interesting. Well, even if you're not pursuing a technical degree or involved in a technical discipline, this is all relevant. As Bernard Franklin pointed out yesterday, we're in a digital age, and many of you are digital babies. So I want to talk a little bit about the passion that drives me to be here. Essentially, that comes down to two things: puzzles and people. I really enjoy puzzles, yeah, tabletop puzzles, but since I was a little kid, it was the imagination, the things that really made me excited. Waking up in the morning, imagining my alarm clock, feeding the dog, taking out the trash, and making my breakfast. Waking up Christmas morning to that new electronic toy, using it for a couple hours, and taking it apart, looking at it, putting it back together. And I know that every one of you has a passion. There's something there that when you were a little kid you wanted to do. Sometimes you walk down the street, you're thinking about something that you wish you could be doing. The great news is, in this digital age, you are all enabled to do so. The second passion of mine is people, and that's ultimately why I'm here. It also carved my path through college, high school, and I landed myself a position in the Lehigh Vader Lab, kind of a corny acronym, yes. Vision Assistive Devices and Experimental Robotics. I was exposed to machine learning, machine vision, and ultimately localization techniques, essentially where the robots are in the world and how they actually perceive what's going on around them. This is important because what we did is we tagged that to assistive devices, right? So we created smart wheelchairs. People that ultimately never had accessibility began to have accessibility. They could do things they never thought they could do before, right? We have implants. People that couldn't see can now see, and it's great. That's my passion. Ultimately, I now work for a company where I get to affect hundreds of millions of users and businesses from small to enterprise, and it's great. But the reason I love it most is because of the people. And ultimately, it brings me back here. After viewing some recruitment trends over the last year and some of the information in the news, I thought it would be a good relevant talk for some career advisement. Like I said, even if you're not pursuing a technical degree, that's fine, because innovation is this coupling of imagination and then, yes, somebody actually goes and implements it. But to give you a little perspective on the job landscape or the economic perspective, the immigration perspective, and education reform that I mentioned, right now, over the last year, unemployment has been held at about 8%, while in the tech industry, we've been hovering around 3.4%, effectively full employment in the tech sector. The US Bureau of Labor Statistics actually expects 120,000 jobs available for recent graduates this year. Unfortunately, they also said that US companies will only turn out about 40,000 eligible candidates for those positions. That's terrible. That's an 80,000 person job surplus available in this country. And we have undergraduates and recent graduates still looking for jobs. The federal government recognizes this. There are many, many STEM initiatives: science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. In fact, in 2013, 2012, the annual budget has been about $3 billion. The proposal for 2014 is again about $3.1 billion annually spent on STEM initiatives. And yet, you have the power in your pocket, greater technology, hardware and software resources than what sent the first people to the moon. And here we are playing Fruit Ninja or Candy Crush, or I don't know, some of the other games. It's quite remarkable. I want to tell you a story When I was in high school, I was at my friend's house. He had this little brother named Matt. Matt was a very interesting kid. Okay, he actually wore a path around the house through the yard because he just walked and thought. He was a very, very creative, innovative kid. He comes to me one day and says, "Nick, I'm having troubles making a music CD. Can you help me?" Well, sure. So I walk down. I sit down at the computer. He has the computer on. Well, that's a good start, right? He has the music application up. He's actually selected the music that he'd like to make a CD with. I said, "Hey, Matt, did you put the CD in?" "Yeah, I put a CD in." "Okay." So I hit the burn button. Nothing happens. I dig a little bit more into, does it actually see that there's a CD in there? And no, there wasn't. So I go ahead and open the disc tray, and what do I find? I find a piece of paper cut out in the shape of a CD. And I smiled and I said, "Matt, you got 95% of the way there. Let me help you take this 5%. I got a disc and I put it in the disc drive." Now, Matt wasn't afraid that he was going to break this machine. He didn't care that it was actually a factor of lasers bouncing off of some semiconductive material, altering its chemical state. He didn't care. He got 95% of the way there, and he put a paper CD in. I thought that was brilliant. And I actually took that as some inspiration for myself. Why be afraid, right? We're innovators, we're creators, we're trying to accomplish something, express ourselves. And you have this digital technology that will enable you to do whatever you wish as long as you're not afraid of the paper CD. So I want to impart this passion. The fact that you have all these tools available to you, go to developer.apple.com, go to developers.google.com, go to msdn.com if you want to develop on Apple, Google, or Microsoft products. There are walkthroughs, easy to use code snippets. In fact, you don't even have to write a single line of code. 90% of the tools that you have available to you will do it all for you. Don't be afraid of the paper CD. Thank you.